Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you're new. My name is Haley. I make content all about life with mitochondrial disease and other chronic illness related things. And today's video is going to be a little bit different than what I would normally do. And originally I was going to talk about this in a vlog, but that just didn't feel right. This deserves a video of its own. And you can probably tell by the title, but I'm going to be talking about the nationwide IV shortage that is currently happening here in the United States. For those who are unaware, yes, there is a nationwide IV fluid shortage currently. I want to say it was about 2 weeks ago that Hurricane Helene hit the east coast of the United States pretty hard, and specifically hit Western North Carolina really hard. It devastated Asheville and the surrounding areas, and the entire area is just like decimated and destroyed, and it's absolutely awful. And in North Carolina, in the area that was affected by Hurricane Helene, there was a Baxter International plant. Baxter International is a medical supplier. They make a lot of IV fluid and IV solutions, and this specific facility that was flooded and damaged by the hurricane, this one singular facility in North Carolina makes 60% of the entire country's IV fluid supply. So the hurricane hit, it flooded and damaged the factory, and the bridges to and from the factory were completely wiped out. Baxter International, other IV supplier companies have all come forward and offered up a bunch of solutions for the short term for this shortage, such as Baxter International is having their other plants gear up production so that they can be doing things. Other IV suppliers are upping their production to help. The FDA and the government have reached out to a couple of countries who are going to help us out with this IV shortage. All of that is great for the short term, and I appreciate that they're doing all of this to help kind of bridge the gap. People are already affected. A lot of people are unable to get their IV fluids, whether that's dextrose or saline. A lot of people have had to have their TPN cut, going from 7 days of TPN to 3 days of TPN, for example, or other people, the formula within their TPN has to be completely redone because they don't have what they need because of the shortage. A lot of hospitals are rationing IV fluids still. Elective surgeries have been canceled, and a lot of dialysis patients are also in the lurch. So the reason why I'm talking about all of this isn't to promote fear or panic or anything like that. Like I said, I appreciate all of the solutions that the government and Baxter International have come up with. I appreciate that they're doing that for the short term. For anyone who's curious, I personally have not been affected. Thankfully, I don't know if that will change, but at least for right now, I haven't been affected, but I know a lot of people who have been affected. And that's a big reason why I wanted to talk about this. And another reason why is because this situation kind of raised a really big flag to me. And I'm not an expert, but as a patient, as someone who relies on IV fluids to stay out of the hospital and to be able to actually enjoy life and have somewhat stable health, it's scary to know there's a shortage, and it's even scarier to know something like this could happen again. And if one singular facility is making so much of the entire country's supply, I believe they need to change that. A couple of years ago, there was a hurricane that hit Puerto Rico really hard. Puerto Rico had a Baxter International plant that was just destroyed, and that shut down production. And I remember this vividly because there was a nationwide IV bag shortage, and everyone was scrambling absolutely everywhere. I remember I was getting IV bags of different sizes that looked different because they were trying to find whatever they could, wherever they could, because this plant in Puerto Rico was wiped out. So Baxter International has already had something similar to what happened during Hurricane Helene. The production of their facility was shut down because of a natural disaster. And I just want to ask the question. I just want to, point out some things. Like, hey, maybe we should change the IV chain supply and how it all works and all functions, and not put all of our eggs in one basket with 60% of the nation's IV fluids in one place. Because if there's another natural disaster, if there's any other circumstance that could cause production to shut down our facility to not be able to do what it needs to do, everyone in the country is waiting in the lurch. And because they provide 60% of IV supplies, all these other companies that manufacture and make the rest of them for the country, there's now going to be way more supply and demand. Hopefully all of this is making sense, and I just want to say, I don't know what I can do, but I don't want to let this go. And I believe maybe if we pressure the government, maybe we might hear something. Maybe that won't work, but the least we can do is try. So I encourage you, if you live in the US, call your state representative or really anyone who you can think of in a governmental role, and just ask them and be persistent of a long-term solution so something like this doesn't take place again, because it's not just chronic illness patients, it's every single person in general in the country who can walk into a hospital, need IV fluids, but then have to be denied because hospitals are rationing them because there's a shortage. So I recommend calling your state representatives. I've been in contact with mine. Have they been doing anything about it? No, but I'm also not letting it go. So I'm going to continue to do it. If anyone has any advice or tips on how to continue to advocate for this, I am all ears. Yeah, I don't want to let this go because it's kind of ridiculous that all of the eggs are in one basket. So with all of that said, thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope all of this made sense. I also want to encourage you that if you're able to donate anything, donate to the victims of Hurricane Helene. I've put in the description box a few links for different organizations and places. I put a link for Samaritan's Purse. They are on the ground. They are doing so much currently. And then I will also put Travel Guides Asheville, the link. They constantly post resources, places to donate, how things are going constantly. So definitely check those out if you're able to. And even if you can't donate, people in North Carolina have shared that they just want attention. They just want eyes on the situation. So just share about it and keep them in your thoughts and prayers. And with all that said, I will see you in my next video. Bye guys.